Welcome to Bottom Dream, mates. Tonight, on Bottom Dream, I've just killed a woman. Angus watches as his wife takes the kids, and Sandra becomes a yandere. Warning, show budget does not exceed 23 yen. Good evening, ladies and gents. Our today's sponsor is Big Man Holgate C250. Check them out, promo code help Angus get his kids back. I was on a contract where I had to protect a high profile individual. They never told us what enemies we had to face, nor who it was that we were actually protecting. But when we eventually did, we simply feared the consequences of what would happen if we failed to protect the target. Senator Amidala had joined the party. Who knows how she even got here? Our mission had become significantly easier and harder at the same time, especially considering her past history with assassins. Our mission was to escort her through the Atoli's Art Museum in District 10. I probably butchered that name. From there, she could take a dimensional door and would then be in the custody of higher security forces, and we would get paid. Now is a good time to meet the team. We had 8 clone troopers and 7 mercenaries. Overall, we had 15 personnel protecting the center, including a backup unit of her personal guard. Now, some of you may wonder why the senator didn't use her personal guard and instead relied on clones and mercenaries. But because of this unfamiliar environment, then we could probably assume that they were probably held back, just in case, instead of having local mercenaries as well as clones protect her. Also because of Palpatine, but we shouldn't speak his name around here.
Sector is...
We had almost made it when what can be described as red stuff started dripping from the walls. It turned out to be lava as it melted through the ceiling and maimed a clone trooper. So, off to a great start, lads. Startling the other troopers as they exchanged fire with the attackers. Now, I did not know what was going to happen next. Well, I can't remember who it was that said it. Maybe it was the senator, maybe it was the announcer. I do remember what they said over the noise of blaster and gun. Quote, "It's the District 10 Amazonian street gang." I'm not kidding you, that they actually said that. There's no way you can actually make this up. Whoever was screaming about the Amazonian street gang, however, was not having a good day. And we were next in line. Luckily for me, I was staying near the senator when all of this went down. Unfortunately, we had another group melting the ceiling with red stuff, ready to pounce on us. The senator leaped behind the diamond exhibit with a pistol in hand, with the other clone troopers and one other mercenary following suit. We braced ourselves for whatever was going to come out of the breach, and when the clone troopers ready to open fire at the hole, I was standing still the entire time. Despite all this carnage, I was just standing still, taking it all in on my first assignment. The first one to target me was a dark-haired girl who was slightly shorter than me in height. Now, the events that transpired after this first eye-to-eye impression may be surprising to some of you, but you have to understand that my job description said specifically to protect Senator Amidala and to avoid the potential death or injury of the senator. So with all of that in mind, I smacked the knife out of her hand and grabbed both her arms, smiled and proceeded to dance with her, surprising the clone troopers, the other mercenaries on my team, and even her comrades on the other side. And as soon as another blonde girl came through the breach on her way to assassinate the senator, I gently shoved my dance partner to the custody of the other mercenary, and quickly grabbed her friend and danced with her as well, giving time for the senator to get to the dimensional door and into safety. They gave up their assault and fell back to where they came from, and for some reason, our squad leader ordered us not to pursue them, but that didn't matter because at that point they were already gone. We had lost at least a third of our force, as 4 clone troopers had died trying to protect the senator, with everyone else just having minor injuries. As things winded down from the literal war zone that was the art museum, I went to the restrooms to get away from all the noise, all the smoke and shot. And here's the second fourth wall break. So if you don't want your immersion spoiled, then I highly recommend that you skip ahead to the canonical explanation. As I was saying, this was the second fourth wall break, as the restroom was my real-life toilet, with the room adjacent to it being my room, with my desktop and laptop computer running. Now, I'll give you the official canon information. I then went to the restroom to get away from all the noise, all the smoke and shot, and all the chaos that just unfolded, and to just process what just happened. I walked down the hallway to, unfortunately, was probably the janitor's toilet. No sink or toilet paper for that matter was to be found. The room adjacent to it seemed eerily familiar and out of place, as if I was there before. But all that was swept aside when the dark-haired girl told me she wanted to talk to me at the docks tomorrow. It took me around 10 seconds to realize that it was Amberly that I was fighting. We later met up around the docks. It was pretty cold, but the sun was still out, even with clouds on the horizon, and we talked and talked about her first day as a low-level mercenary. It wasn't her fault that we both fought for opposing sides. She was just doing her job and I was just doing mine, and there weren't any hard feelings against each other. We just did our jobs and that was that. She later took me across town to where she temporarily lived for the time being. It was basically a small warehouse with like 9 other females living in it, and a small bar filled with wine, liquor and beer. Overall, it was a very homey place and I could see why she would live there. But at the same time, air conditioning and heating probably would have been a nightmare, especially with a wide open garage door right there. But their front door had a lock, so I'll give them points for that. After much more conversations with Amberly and her now drunken roommates, the sun grew to twilight and I decided to say my goodbye and took my leave. I said my goodbyes to the group, mostly specifically to Amberly, because I flew home knowing that my friend was gonna drink 6 bottles of vodka and collapse onto the bed. And on that wholesome note, it is time to end. Thank you so much for watching. See you next upload. Good night! So, what does this mean for our core cast of characters and cameos? Well, for one thing, Angus will be fighting in a tough legal battle for the kids. Volkan the mercenary will be spending half of his paycheck on vodka and mayonnaise.
As for me, I have some questions that need to be answered. Colonel Yuri, over and out.